In nature, you can often encounter such a phenomenon when a seemingly safe animal can conceal a mortal danger, and vice versa. Outwardly scary representatives of the fauna, with huge fangs, thorns, stings and claws, can have a truly formidable appearance, but in reality be practically harmless and kind creatures. And all this formidable appearance is needed only to mislead potential enemies. Like, look how formidable and scary I am, and it is better not to mess with me. In the animal world, such a scheme works well, and not without reason. Some harmless species of spiders, snakes, and other reptiles have learned to outwardly disguise themselves as their poisonous relatives, and even experienced biologists sometimes cannot distinguish them at first glance. What can we say about animals from which this disguise saves? In general, today we will look at various representatives of the animal world that have a formidable appearance, but do not pose a danger as such. Tarantula spider. This spider is quite popular as an exotic pet. Its appearance is truly frightening: huge hairy paws, a large body covered with hairs. The spider clearly does not seem safe. In fact, its bite is even less dangerous than a wasp bite, and it is quite difficult to provoke it to bite. The spider contains a valuable tranquilizer liquid in its glands, which it uses to hunt and immobilize the victim. It will not even waste this liquid on a person, and if a person brings the spider to a bite, torturing it to death, then he will receive a dry, harmless bite. Female tarantulas have no competitors in life expectancy among arthropods and are able to live more than 30 years. Currently, the tarantula family is divided into 13 subfamilies, including many species. These spiders are very popular as pets, and quickly get used to human hands. Phryne or whip-legged spiders from the order of tropical arachnids. Phryne have a significant resemblance to spiders, but they have neither poisonous nor spinnerets. Despite their frightening appearance, these creatures are harmless to people. When exposed to bright light, the phryne freezes, spreading out, but if touched, it quickly runs away. Phryne usually move sideways, like crabs. In this case, one of their antennae is directed towards the direction of movement, and the other continuously probes the surroundings. Phryne have always been incomprehensible and unpleasant to ordinary people, so there are many fables about them. In some places where whip-legged spiders live, local residents are afraid of them and consider them extremely dangerous. For example, during his stay in the Seychelles in 1872, local residents told one biologist that after a phryne bite, swelling of the body, convulsions and vomiting occur, and that if the victim is not treated with ammonia, this will ultimately lead to a long-term illness or death. Some scientists were afraid to even examine the specimens of these arachnids brought to Europe, so great was their prejudice. The first studies showed that these creatures are completely harmless. Phrynes are deprived of the ability to bite or in any way harm a person. Giant shark. There are many scary legends and stories associated with sharks, so any shark causes fear in people, but there is no need to be afraid of the giant shark, even though it is the second largest shark in the world. Its length can reach 10 meters, and its weight is about 4 tons. Giant sharks like to swim close to the surface, sticking out their dorsal and tail fins from the water, terrifying everyone who is nearby. But its huge mouth is not used for attack, but for swallowing plankton with water, and does not have sharp teeth. The shark swims calmly, not paying attention to approaching divers, but still you should not touch it. The scales on its skin are very sharp. The feeding tactics of these sharks looks frightening. It simply opens its huge mouth, filtering through its gills everything that gets into it. In this way, a giant shark can filter up to 2,000 tons of water per hour. An inexperienced diver, seeing such a picture, may decide that a shark with a huge gaping mouth is swimming for his soul. So the main thing is not to panic in such a situation. It does not care about a person at all. And what about a person? Even fish may not worry about their safety. But a person is dangerous for this shark. The liver of a well-fed giant shark contains up to 60% fat and makes up about a fifth of the mass of the entire body. By an evil irony of fate, fat, so necessary for the survival of the species, has caused a sharp decline in the number of harmless sea giants. Giant African centipede. At first glance, this creature looks repulsive and dangerous. But it turns out that in Madagascar, this centipede has long been one of the most common pets. It is easy to tame, it quickly gets used to the owner and his hands. It is the largest representative of centipedes. Outwardly, it resembles a large and thick caterpillar with many red legs. The centipede leads a terrestrial lifestyle. It digs passages in the litter of fallen leaves, hides in cracks between stones, under fallen tree trunks or in animal burrows. The predominant habitat is Africa, or more precisely, its eastern part with its tropical and subtropical zones. Reach huge sizes for centipedes, 25 to 28 centimeters. With this length, their body diameter is 2.5 to 3 centimeters. They feed on fruits and plants. In captivity, they are fed with pieces of fruit, vegetables, and greens. Are not aggressive at all. They are great for keeping at home, although there is one peculiarity: they are very timid. When frightened, the centipede secretes a caustic protective liquid that irritates the skin and mucous membranes. Spots remain on the skin that cannot be removed for several days. Manta, or another name giant sea devil. They are often confused with their cousins stingrays, which are known to have extremely poisonous stings, and can easily kill a person. These giant rays are not at all dangerous to humans. Although their length and diameter can reach up to 9 meters, and weight up to 3 tons, in fact, they are just harmless giants that should not be feared. Mantas are widespread in temperate, tropical, and subtropical waters throughout the world. They often swim to coral reefs, in places where fish and crustaceans accumulate, scaring inexperienced divers. Previously, it was believed that mantas could attack a diver, hugging him with their fins wings and crushing him to death. There were also beliefs that a stingray could swallow a person. All this turned out to be ancient horror stories, and today it is precisely man who poses the greatest threat to these huge rays. Poachers hunt them for their valuable gill rakers, which are in demand in Chinese medicine. Today, catching them is prohibited in almost all countries where these rays may appear. The striped king snake. These snakes are very similar in color to the extremely poisonous coral snakes. This allows the king snake to scare off predators, but in fact this snake is completely harmless. King snakes, as well as their relatives the European copperheads, are the owners of a weak venom, which helps the reptile paralyze its usual prey in the wild, represented by lizards and snakes. Such venom reduces the victim's resistance during strangulation and swallowing, but does not pose a danger to humans. The teeth of even the largest species are very small and are not capable of seriously injuring human skin. When kept at home, adult king snakes often become almost tame and do not show any aggression towards their owner. You need to tame such a snake to your hands gradually, allocating about 10 to 15 minutes a day for this. All species belonging to the genus of king snakes are quite common in America and adjacent territories. Common king snakes live mainly in deserts or semi-desert areas in North America. They are often found in Arizona and Nevada. A significant number of individuals inhabit the swampy areas of Florida and Alabama. Moloch lizard, or as it is also called in Australia, horned devil. This lizard resembles a spiky dinosaur and can shoot blood from its eyes. But despite its unusual and frightening appearance, it does not pose a threat to humans. It lives in the desert regions of Australia. Every centimeter of its body is covered with huge thorns, spines, and they call it the devil because there is really something devilish in its appearance, for example, large horns. Such an unusual and frightening appearance is necessary for it to protect itself from predators. Few people dare to taste a lizard covered in sharp thorns. Snakes, birds and larger lizards, such as monitor lizards, will have to work hard to swallow this lizard. Firstly, its thorns will prevent this. Secondly, it can significantly inflate its body, increasing in size. Another method of protection is camouflage. They, like chameleons, can change their color depending on the surrounding background and temperature. In warm weather, lizards acquire yellow-red colors, and in cold weather, dark olive or dull brown. Such transformations can happen literally in a matter of minutes. The Ghanaian gharial is a crocodile that lives on the Indian subcontinent. It is also called a fish-eating crocodile. Unlike most crocodiles, the Ghanaian gharial does not attack or eat people, but on the contrary, is afraid of them. Despite the gharial's large size, its narrow and weak jaw is simply not physically adapted to eating large animals. Its teeth are very fragile and not designed for chewing. This crocodile is the rarest and most ancient animal on Earth and is listed in the Red Book in the category Endangered. It mainly feeds on fish. In India, gharials are considered sacred animals. Despite its harmless reputation, this is a very large species of crocodiles. One might even say the largest, slightly inferior in size to the saltwater crocodile. Males can reach 5.5 meters in length. This shape of the jaws is explained by their narrow specialization, hunting for fish. The jaws encounter little resistance in the water, allowing gharials to swim easily and catch prey with them. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. If it was interesting, support the video with likes. Thank you for subscribing, and take a look at what else we have prepared for you.